Yes, so it shows up on the thumbnail. Okay. So this one's called One Arm Sally because the strength portion is a one-armed superset. So we'll start with that, and then I'll go through the warm-up pretty quickly. The warm-up is all things you guys know. But okay, so for the superset, it's 5 by 8 of a single arm row and then an overhead press. But you'll do one arm completely, and then you'll do the other arm. So for today's rows, we're going to do it on the bench instead of like the regular bench where you do both. And this way you can do a little bit more weight because you're more focused and you want to be really slow with it. So very slow and controlled, like 1 second up, 2 seconds down. But in terms of like form, you'll have your knee on the bench and then your hand, so knee below your hip, hand below your shoulder, and this leg will kind of be slightly out, like just like a tripod, little kickstand. So weight starts all the way extended from your crown to your tailbone, straight just like in everything else. Shoulders kind of down and back, and everything is pretty stable. So you're still like bracing through your core to make sure that you're not like moving or arching. Everything should be really still, and the only thing that should be moving is basically your arm. So kind of like 1 second up, 1 Mississippi, and 2 seconds down. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. 1 Mississippi, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. 1 Mississippi, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Like that, and you should feel it like all through here as you're controlling it up and down. And so you'll do 8 of these, and then you'll stand up and immediately do 8 overhead. We're here, keeping your ribs tight to your hips, make sure there's no like rib flare. So still bracing through your core, standing up very tall, feet butt hips distance apart, and then just pressing overhead and making sure that your bicep is in line with your ears when you're at the top. So all the way down and then all the way up. And then you'll switch and do the other arm. So you'll do a full superset on one arm and then the superset on the other arm. So we'll do that 5 by 8, 5 rounds of 8 reps each. And then we'll do the workout is 3 rounds of 10 ring rows, 10 dips, 10 external shoulder rotations, pull apart circuit, and 1 arm thruster. So we'll start with the ring rows. The closer your feet are to the wall, the harder it is. And the farther your feet are away from the wall, the easier it is. So somewhere around being in line with the rig is probably a good distance to start. Keeping your core super tight and your body really straight. Arms start completely extended, and then pull up until your fists finish next to your boobs. And then you let yourself back down. Making sure to keep your neck very neutral. You don't want to be looking arched forward or arched backwards because it's really easy to tweak your neck in this exercise. So those are the ring rows. For the dips, you do them on the bench or a box or a chair, whatever you have. And again, like the closer your feet are to the bench, the easier it is. The farther away, the harder it is. So you have your shoulders down and back, butt pushed off the bench, starting locked out, and then you'll just lower yourself down and exhale as you come up. Inhale all the way down, exhale as you come up, and same with the rings, I just forgot to mention that. Inhale down, exhale as you pull up, really embracing through that core, keeping like a good plank position. For the external shoulder rotation with the resistance band, you'll hold it in your fists, elbows really tight to your side, and then you'll just rotate the fist out to one side. So 1, 2, 10 on each. And you should feel it kind of like it's your back that's pulling your shoulder around. So you do 10 on each side, remembering to brace and exhale with each movement so your body isn't moving around. And keeping feet hips distance apart, very tall, like a tall. So that your arms are really just doing all the movement, and that's if you want to feel it there. The pull apart circuit, it's 30 because, you know, and resistance band your fists starting straight out. You do diagonal, diagonal, chest. And each one counts as 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so that'll be the 30. And the 1 arm thruster. So after doing all of that arm work, your arms are going to be kind of tired. And then we're going to do the thruster. So feet a little bit wider than hips distance. It's just a squat with an overhead press at the end. But you want to use the momentum you've gotten from your squat to get the weight up. So you want it to be fast. So this arm is out for balance. Inhale down, exhale up. Inhale down, exhale up. And you're really like driving up, like your heels may even come off the ground as you're driving up, because you want to use some of that momentum to help get the weight
So you push up the ball of your feet.
Yeah, kind of. As you like, if you really, it's just like a squat jump kind of without a full jump. So squat down and really drive up. And you'll feel it. You should be able to feel that like, oh yeah, the momentum makes it easier for it to come up. And that's kind of how you want it to feel. As always, chest up, sitting back into your buns, keeping like good squat form as you come down, and then really driving up. Take the weight. For the warm up, it's the step out, which is resistance band around the rig, and just stepping out, keeping your shoulders really tight. 20 marches, so laying on your back, feeling your diastasis as you march, shoulder or heels tapping closer to your butt is easier, heels tapping farther from your butt is harder. And then we'll just do 5 push-ups, 5 ring rows, and 5 dips with breath to kind of practice moving with your breath. And then to start, we'll just do some pass-throughs to kind of get everything loosened up from earlier this week, and do some pull-up negatives, just so our muscles don't like forget how to do that. So we'll do 1 max negative, where you're just gonna go as slowly as you possibly can, and we'll count and see how far you can go. And then we'll do 2 3-second negatives. And that's it, and then just some rolling up stuff.
Cool.
Perfect.